Hi, this is Tiffany with LATVP Network, and I am here today with Lisset Diaz from our headliner of Ladybug Music Festival and the Sweet Lizzy Project. Welcome, Lisset.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. Lisset is joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, which is where she resides now. But Lisset is originally from
Cuba.
Woo! So tell us a little bit about your music influence from Cuba and how you got to Nashville. Let's just kind of make a long story short with that one.
Well, yes, I was born and raised in Cuba, in Havana, to be specific. And even though I think I always loved music, it was not a career for me. I actually studied biochemistry and molecular biology because I wanted to be a scientist.
Wow, you're a smart one.
Yeah, maybe. I actually did that and I loved it. But in the meantime, I started writing songs and, I started listening to music that really inspired me, and I met some people that actually were, musicians full time. And I'm like, okay, this is actually doable. Like some people do this for a living,
Right.
and yeah, and I met Miguel Comas, who is my partner and business partner, partner in life, and partner in so many ways, and I showed my songs to him. He loved them, and we decided to start this project together. So this was 9 years ago, literally.
Wow.
Like just
Still in Cuba.
yes, we just turned 9 years old this May. Actually,
Wow.
during the Ladybug
You're only
Festival, we were
25,
celebrating.
correct?
What?
You're only 25?
Yes, let's go with that.
Oh! Okay.
No, I was born in
always told you were only 25.
No, I was born in 1991. I'm 31.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just ruined it.
But still, no, all good.
So yeah, that was 9 years ago, and about 5 years ago, PBS went to Cuba because they were filming a documentary, some special show about about Cuban music,
Right.
basically. And it was funny because they were not expecting to find a band like us in Cuba because we're not the prototype. We don't play salsa or rumba or whatever, whatever people think about my country.
Right.
So when they found us, they were like, "Oh my God, we have to have you because you're weird." I'm like, "Thank you." and that's how we met.
A little edgier than what they were expecting, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Raúl Malo from the Mavericks, who is is a band originally from Miami, but they've been in Nashville for years, and they've been around for 30 years. So he was the host for the show. Okay, so the project started 9 years ago. Right after Miguel, my partner, listened to my music, he was like, "Okay, we need to do this together." And then we needed a band. We didn't have a band. I was still at the university. I was studying, and I didn't know any musicians or anything like that. So we put this band together, asking our friends and friends of our friends, and we were lucky enough
to networking for a band.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to choose the right people because we're still together.
9 years later, that's quite an
9 years later.
Yes, that's a fantastic accomplishment. Yeah. And you're just getting stronger and better and climbing the ranks.
Well, after 9 years, if we don't, we can just do something else.
Right. Right. No, it's fantastic. But it's fantastic that you have that synergy, that you can, that you can grow together. Because sometimes after 9 years, people grow apart. They get older and they just sort of grow apart and go in different ways. So it's really great that you guys are able to stay together and thrive, and that you have come to the United States and here's this whole new market and whole new world.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought that was going to happen to us at some point because, it is one thing when you start a project and it's all fun and easy and usually it's not, but it's been especially complicated for us when you move to a new country. That's just it is really hard. We had to change everything. We left our families behind, our friends behind, to literally pursue this dream. And some days we're now it feels like Nashville feels like home now, kind of. But at first, I had bad days, and then the days I felt great, and somebody else had a bad day, and that would ruin my day.
Right, and you can't have bad days on the same day.
Exactly, and sometimes somehow we managed to make it work, and
you all lived together when you came here to the United States?
We still do.
Oh my goodness.
So we got here almost 5 years ago.
That is family. I mean, that's a new definition of family right there.
Yeah. Actually, when we got here, we didn't live together. We found different places, and then at some point, we started touring and rehearsing and doing things that we needed to be together. So, and we spent a lot of time out of Nashville. So we were like, are we going to get different houses again, just to be on the road most of the time?
Sure.
And we get along pretty good. So we decided that let's get this house together because we're not going to be here.
Right.
The pandemic happened. So
and then you were all there.
I was like, oh my God, we're going to kill each other. Literally, this is the end of this. We're not gonna make it. It's so frustrating. Like, it was really frustrating for everybody.
Right.
But we lost our tour, 3 years of hard work on this album, and nothing was gonna happen.
Oh, but that's heartbreaking and scary when you're in a different country and this is what you've worked so hard for.
Exactly.
And you can't go home. All the borders are closed and you can't go home.
Yeah, it's not like your mom is in a different state or like a few blocks away. No, if something happened, you can't go back to your country because you just can't.
Right.
The uncertainty was killing us.
I live by myself, so I'm lucky that I didn't have anybody that I wanted to choke.
Right. Well, at the same time, it worked pretty good for us because some bands couldn't rehearse or even see each other for
they were trying
a year.
To rehearse remotely even, and that doesn't work. Yeah,
we rehearsed, we wrote, we recorded, we started this sort of like a TV show called Sweet Quarantine Sessions, and it was like we used to go live every night for almost a year, like 80 episodes on YouTube, and it was a lot of work, but it was also fun, and people were like so thankful that they had that. Our fans just our community grow like a lot, and I don't know, we made it.
Congratulations! So let's talk a little bit about the music that you have coming out, because that's related to what transpired during the pandemic. And you and I talked a little bit before the interview about how things are changing in the music industry, where people are releasing more EPs than they are albums. And that seems to be the popular consensus, that we're just sort of going to leave albums behind as time goes on.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's why I'm releasing an album. No, during the pandemic, we released a single, something we wrote, and we just wanted to put it out, and we did. And we also wrote this Christmas EP, which was the first time we were writing original Christmas music, which is a huge deal for Cubans because in Cuba, Christmas is not a big deal.
Really?
So yeah, it was
I
kind of
did
like
not
an
know that.
experiment. Yeah, it's not. It was actually banned for some time
Wow.
by the communist revolution, and then after I can't remember exactly the event that made that change, but um, now that's people can actually celebrate it. But it's not like here. It's not like you don't see all the decorations in the streets or Christmas music is not a thing.
Right.
So it was a
Here it
fun
just takes over.
experiment. Oh my
Yeah.
God! Here is like
Yeah.
November Christmas.
Right. And it's such a
Um,
commercial thing,
yeah,
unfortunately. But yeah.
yeah, but it was pretty interesting for us. Something it was definitely a new experience, and
Right.
we wrote about it on this Christmas EP. So we did that during the pandemic, but then at the same time, um, even though we wanted to keep releasing singles, we thought about a different kind of project. We wanted to do a concept album, and the reason why it was a concept album is that it was inspired by the situation of my country, of Cuba. Who, I don't know if you know, but pretty recently, after 60 years of dictatorship, people are kind of waking up, and
Yes.
they're starting to protest and to try to speak up, which is really hard and dangerous. There, so November 2020, there was a hunger strike that happened in Cuba, and that was kind of like, oh my God, I cannot believe that this is actually happening there, because we've been used to the silence treatment for so long that it was just unbelievable. And that was kind of what inspired us to write an album that had to do to speak about that, the history of my country, and what's been happening for so long from our perspective as musicians that no longer live
Right.
in Cuba. So
Right.
that's why the record is called Pirate Radio, because back in the 70s, Cubans could go to jail just because if you had a record of the Beatles at home, you could go to jail,
Oh
because
my goodness.
rock and roll and all these music genres are not Cuban music. They were not legal. So
Wow.
people would create their own like antennas, like radios, homemade radios, to listen to this radio stations, like from Little Rock, Arkansas, was one of them, one of the famous shows, and that's why it's called Pirate Radio, because it's it's kind of specific for music, but the record itself goes beyond that. It's about freedom. It's about censorship. It's about speaking up for your rights as a human being.
I know I've listened to the song, and that went over my head, unfortunately. But I'm going to go back and listen to it again.
We released "Dreaming of a Revolution" last year, and it was kind of a single from this album. The song is on this album, but we wanted to put it out, and that came out last year, and it's pretty much that. We're actually dreaming of a revolution. We're dreaming of a change, something different. So that's why we're so excited about this album, and this is why we did an album, because it's 11 songs in English and then 11 songs in Spanish. It's actually 2 albums.
Okay.
It's a sequence. It has a specific order in which we're telling a story. So that's why we made an album. But this is going to be the last one.
Well, I'm going to have to go back and listen to that on Spotify again. I've been listening to you guys on Spotify, so I'm going to have to go back and listen to that all over again with a whole different mindset now that I know. And that's why it's important to talk to artists, because sometimes you miss the message because you just don't know the artist's
The
background.
motivation, yeah.
So so now it's nice to know that, you know, this was your motivation and your inspiration for this entire album. And it's
Yeah.
important. It's an important cause. Do you get any feedback from your family in Cuba? What do they think about what you're doing here?
Well, I mean, they love the fact that we're here and that we're, you know, we make progress every day, and it's a lot.
Right.
I mean, you have a lot more opportunities here than the opportunities we had in Cuba, especially doing the kind of music that we were doing for the same
Right.
reason I just
Now,
explained to you. That
were you in danger at all when you were performing in Cuba because you were
No.
different? No.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I never
You never felt that.
No, and I never wrote about these things when I was in Cuba.
Right. Right.
So we have other albums before this one, of course, but you know, they don't speak about.
Now, could you go back?
social-
Have you been back?
Yes, I've been back twice, 3 times actually, after I got here, because my grandmother was still in Cuba back then. She's not there anymore, but yeah, we all have families and friends there, and they're happy for us. At the same time, they miss us.
I'm sure.
They want us to go back and perform in Cuba, which right now it's too complicated. And at the same time, every time we say something on social media or we talk about the album, they're scared because they feel like maybe we won't be able to come back or things like that. Yeah.
And here we have the freedom of speech, and you know, we need to be thankful for everything that we have here and all of the rights and all of the freedoms when we look at other countries too.
Yeah,
so,
I see that all the time, and people find
it's honestly something that we
take for granted sometimes.
You know, we take it for granted.
Yeah, and I'm like,
let's be honest, we take it for granted.
I know, like, I actually say it to people. I'm like, yeah, you guys disagree and all that, but just take a moment to realize how lucky you are.
Right.
That you can both express yourselves and you can vote and you can do things. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we all
can
need
listen to whatever music we want. We can sing about, talk about whatever we want to talk about.
Exactly.
And we don't always agree, but that doesn't mean that we have to fight about it.
No, and it's okay. We're all in this world together, so we just need to figure it out. But but
what do you guys
there
have
has
coming
to be
up?
a space for everybody.
There should be, and you know, and it's relevant right now because it's Pride Month. So you know, it kind of crosses all those boundaries, and especially when we talk about Ladybug and what Ladybug is about, you know, and equality for women, and just there is inequality, especially in women's music.
Yeah.
Are you experiencing that much in Nashville, or Nashville has kind of become a melting pot?
Yes, and like, to be honest, I don't feel it. I don't. You know, I think words don't have the meaning of the people that are saying them, but it's the meaning that you give to them when you hear them, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So if you're trying to be sexist with me, you're just an idiot. You're not being sexist. Like, I don't feel bad because I'm a woman.
Right.
And at the same time, my case, I live with 4 guys. And I am the boss.
It's nice that you have the guys to back you up. Nobody, I don't think anybody's going to mess with you.
I am the boss. They
Are you? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you don't say this to them.
We'll let them think they are, but
yeah, we just love and respect each other, and I don't feel like, sometimes I feel more like a boy.
Now, where do you regularly perform in Nashville?
Well, several places. Last year we had the honor of, you know, performing at the Ryman.
I've never
I
been to Nashville. I don't know Nashville.
oh
I
my
have a
God.
couple
Well,
friends that live down there and are performers, but I haven't had the opportunity to visit yet.
well, the Ryman is like the place that when you get here, everybody's like, "Oh, you have to go to Ryman. Oh, you have to. Oh, if you get to perform the Ryman, like such a big deal."
Right, right.
And I'm
And
like,
you
"Yeah, well,
performed there.
yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, we're not." And
Oh, you're
last
not there
year,
yet. Okay.
and last year,
Soon.
we got to perform and be on that stage. It was just
Wow.
magical. But of course, that doesn't happen every weekend.
Right.
But there are several places here. We don't really perform like, downtown Nashville is like the thing here in Nashville. Like
Yes.
everybody comes here, and it's really impressive because you have this.
Oh, I'm dying to get there.
Oh my God! You have this street that is Broadway, and it's bars, and clubs and bars, and you have an amazing band playing
At each one.
each one of those
Right.
venues, and it's just
Right.
amazing because
Yeah.
if you're outside the venue, you can hear all of the bands playing at the same time, and there again, it's just the talent in this town, and all the musicians are just amazing
Right.
at whatever they do, and whoever anybody can be just like an amazing singer, and it's just serving drinks.
Right.
Not that serving drinks is a bad thing, but
No,
it's
no. You have to make a living somehow. Yeah.
you don't imagine that oh my God, that girl can sing.
Right.
So that is Nashville, and we don't do that a lot, but there's a place called Bourbon Street Blues and Boogie Bar, and we play there once a month, and we just
Okay.
love it.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
awesome.
great, like, if whoever's watching, if you come to Nashville, you have to go to that place because everybody, the energy, the vibe of that place is incredible.
I'll have
Yeah.
to look that up. I am
It's
planning
so
on
smart.
taking a trip to Nashville sometime in the near future, but not sure when. Yeah. Rumor has it that Nashville is a rock town despite country history. Well, I think that was one of our followers that mentioned that, and I just read that on the chat. And we talked a little bit about that it is a melting pot, and it's not Nashville isn't what you would expect it to be, where people think honky tonk and country, and
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
so much more than that.
There's a lot of that though. Like, we were kind of weirdos in Cuba because we were doing like rock and roll in Cuba in
Right.
English.
Right.
What's that? And then we got here and like, okay, now we're gonna fit, right? Because this is America.
Right. We're
And-
doing
and-
rock and roll, and this is America.
And in Nashville, it's not exactly that. And on top of that, we're Cubans, right? So it's not even like a rock band from America. Like, you can tell that we're not from here.
Oh no, you can. There's a very distinct sound that you have.
Yeah. So I guess that's
So why
that's a
Nashville?
good thing. But
You could have gone anywhere in the U.S., right? Why Nashville?
well, because our record label was from Nashville, so that's why we came here originally, and then we loved it here, and we got used to it, and honestly, we've traveled a lot. We've been to over 30 states since we're here.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Delaware was the
incredible.
last one, and a new
Okay.
one actually. Yeah,
Good.
and I think I could live anywhere. I
You do?
love every place I've been to, and I love that. I love that about the United States. It's such a huge country, and
And
each-
so diverse.
yes, and each state has its own magic, its own thing.
Right.
Like, you can find the food that you have to try, or the places where you have to go in this
Sure.
this town or this other town. So
Right.
there's some
Crazy
history there.
landmarks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do you have a favorite? Out of 30 states, I've lived here my entire life, and I know I haven't been to anywhere close to 30 states.
Well, that's a good thing about being a musician. Just go on the road, you get the minivan, and
Yeah.
you can go anywhere. I don't know. I would say. I mean, New York definitely was special. Like,
I love New York.
But I've seen that in movies my entire
Right.
life, and I'm like,
Right.
oh my God, I'm here.
Right.
But we really love California.
Oh, I love California too. Yes. The
The
palm
weather was
trees, and then you've
perfect.
got the ocean and the mountains, and it's just kind of the best of everything that the United States has to offer in one state. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and then one thing about Nashville and about Tennessee that we don't have is the sea. We miss the ocean coming from an island.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I could live where there isn't water. Not even, I mean, lakes wouldn't do for me. I need to be by an ocean, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that in my life. So I'm sure you do miss that.
Yeah.
So I think that we are running out of time. Is there anything that you want to tell our followers, and especially let them know where they can find you and all of your music and
Well,
your
first
tour?
of all, thank you for watching. I hope you found this interesting.
I think you're fascinating. I could talk to you for hours.
Oh, I can talk for hours.
I can do. Let's do that sometime.
And then, well, this is the Sweet Lizzy Project, and we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Have a lot of videos on YouTube. Of course, we have
At least 80.
At least. No, it's a lot more. We can be pretty creative when it comes to videos. So that, and then we have iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, all the streaming services, and yeah, we really appreciate your support if you can follow us and check us out.
And what do you have coming up? Tour dates.
Yes,
what do you have
yes,
coming up
we have many tour dates on the books. So if you go to our website, sweetlizzyproject.com, our schedule is there. We might be coming to your town, so you don't want to miss it.
Nope.
And also, we have a new single coming out this June 24th. And then the record, Pirate Radio and Radio Pirata in Spanish, both are coming out in October 7th, 2022. Finally. So,
yay!
Yay! Stay tuned. Right.
And how did you get to be the headliner of Ladybug?
Well, my booking agent, Lara Supan from Fleming Artists, who is amazing, by the way. She got us the gig, and I was like, then I did some research about the festival, and I'm like, this is the perfect fit. Like, this is perfect for us, and hello, I'm a girl, so that's gonna be great because I'm sure I'm gonna meet some interesting people, and I was not wrong.
Right.
I loved.
It was a fantastic day, and your performance was amazing. You're so
Thank
high
you.
energy and
Thank
super
you.
talented. It's
I enjoyed all of the performances, all of the artists, and I think I didn't get to meet them all, but lots of them.
right.
And just beautiful and talented women. I love that. They were all special.
Yes.
It's not what you listen to every day on the radio. It's like this is
Right.
this is genuine. This is original. I was proud. I felt proud to be a part of this event. And then on top of that, everybody was so professional. Like the kudos to the sound people, all the crew, everybody was just so nice and so professional. And then I was lucky to be there not only the day of the show, but like 3 days before the actual festival. And we met with Gail and Natalie and all the team that have been working so hard for so long.
Very hard. Yes.
Oh my God.
Heart and soul, 100%.
To make a perfect day out of this event.
Yes.
And they were just they're amazing, and I'm like, I love this because what I love about my job is that, yeah, of course I love writing music and I love taking my music out there to new places and all that, but I'm just lucky that I get to meet these people that if I were doing something different, I wouldn't. I
Right.
wouldn't be able
Right.
to
Your life
to know
takes
them.
you in places that other people don't get to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are just so they're just good people, great human
Right.
beings.
Well,
I hope that I help in my country, and I can help people, and I can spread the message, but at the same time I'm helping myself because
music heals.
being able to say these things out loud for the first time, it has such a liberating
Right.
effect on
Right.
myself,
Right.
and it would be a lie if I were saying that I'm doing this just for other people. I'm also doing
Right.
it for myself. It means a
Sure.
lot to me to be able
Sure.
to speak my heart and say the things that I just couldn't say before.
But
Couldn't
most
even
people are
think.
driven by money and fame. And I can see that you are not.
No, that's not the right motivation for anything. It's just not right. That will come if you're doing the right thing, but
Right.
that cannot be the
Right.
motivation.
Right. I agree. Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you. I had a great. This was fun.
Yes. It's supposed to be fun. This
Yeah,
isn't supposed to feel like work.
and I'm happy that I can talk again about the Ladybug Music Festival
Yeah.
because it was so special.
Well, I have a feeling that you'll be back for Ladybug.
Oh my God, anytime. I would
Yeah.
love to.
I can't imagine that they won't invite you back. Yeah.